You know, I have friends that are Africans. There's over 50 countries in Africa. I guess it depends on where you come from and the way in which you were raised and what village and so forth. But the handful of friends that I have that are Africans are very, very decent and law-abiding citizens. They're upstanding citizens. I even had an African friend of mine that was murdered a few years ago by someone who he picked up in his taxi, and they shot and killed him, or either stabbed him. I don't remember right now because there's been so many cab incidents, and it sort of escapes me. But he was murdered just the same. Very good friend of mine. His name was Mamadou. But anyway, I still have some African friends. And one thing that I've noticed about the particular African friends that claim to be Muslim, as are some of the other friends that I have and or associates, and even people that are not friends or associates just in general from my observation, who claim to be Muslim. But I'm speaking of my African friends right now, those I know intimately and those that I see at a distance. They're always talking about celebrating Ramadan, that African feast or festival where they fast for a certain period of time, getting closer to the ancestors and God or Allah. But are they really sincerely dedicated to God or Allah? I want to say not all of them. Just because you say you are Muslim, just because you say that you believe in Allah or God and you walk the path, and just because you celebrate certain holy days or holy festivals, doesn't make you spiritual at all. Doesn't put you in good standing with God just because you're going through the motions of these ceremonies. Because some of the Africans that claim that they're Muslim, they are womanizers. For example, I've seen many Africans that said, I'm fasting today. You know, they go and they pray so many times per day. They go off into another room inside their businesses even, and they go and pray. You know, they go and pray to Allah. But 5 minutes later, let a woman come in with big breasts, big behind, some tight clothing on. They're looking at her. They're following her outside. They're trying to get her phone number. And oftentimes it's the black female American. It's the black woman. In the hood, some might say. In the ghetto. Because oftentimes this is where you'll find African stores. So, how spiritual are you really, my African Muslim friend? Are you trying to get in the panties or under the skirts or in the pants of women that frequent your business? And if that's what your motive is, if that's what your purpose and or agenda is when they come into your place of business, then where's God then? Where's Allah? Don't sound like something that a Muslim does. Not a true Muslim anyway. So what is it to be a Muslim? I have close friends and students that are Muslim. I respect their choice or their belief. And they don't engage in this type of behavior. I've been to mosque before. And very spiritual place, as is any other synagogue or church, as it were. But everybody that claim to be spiritual, claim to be religious, is not. They just faking the funk, pretending. They want you and I or people on the outside to believe that they are. But in secret, they're doing other things that don't please the Creator. So, the premise of this video was simply this. To my African brothers that are in America, who walk around always bowing down and saying that you're Muslim, speaking in your language to one another, I understand that. To keep your language fresh when you're in America, you still have to speak to stay fluid in that particular language and so forth. Plus, it's a cultural thing. I understand that. But a lot of times, I have heard you say things to one another about black women that you were lusting after. Some of you have even impregnated black women and have had children by black women and have even paid for abortions because you've had sex with black women in America when you were married to African women that were either living with you or even still back in Africa. But you're still supposed to be Muslim. Are you really Muslim, my African friends? Or are you something else? Think on these things. Be what you say you are and stop pretending to be something that you're not, my African brothers. That was it, and that was all.